Good afternoon. My name is Niko House, and I am the host of the political radio show Mikasa Sukasa. And I urge you all to join our One Follow, $1 campaign. Let's wish a happy new year to the establishment media who just absolutely refuses to discuss the truth. And I will, along with several other journalists that are independent as well. But just join the campaign by donating $1. That is it. To the Patreon link below, and you can be part of that change that we need so desperately. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope that everyone enjoyed themselves and was safe during the holidays. I hope that everybody got back alive and that everybody got to relax. I took a break because I needed it with work, and this is actually my first holidays in South Florida. So I just kind of switched full-time jobs anyway. And so, good. It's a good switch, great switch. But I decided that for these 2 weeks that I was absolutely not going to do any work, so that I can come refreshed, refurbished, and brand new. Also, I was busy because I had to build some stuff. Clearly, as you can see, I've upgraded a little bit. But overall, I'm excited. We got some cool stuff coming. Got the podcast coming up. Actually, it'll be a podcast of the weekly show that I do every week on American Freedom Radio, in case you haven't watched that, or if for some reason you can't watch it. Like I said, you can actually go to the podcast now, which will be available on SoundCloud, iTunes we're working on, and Stitcher. So really excited about that. But I digress. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Somehow, some way, the Democratic Party keeps trying to convince us that Joe Biden is the superstar of the party. Now, mind you, it's really weird that they keep saying that, because Joe Biden was literally nobody to nobody in 2008 when he tried to run against President Barack Obama. Understand, he got destroyed by just about everybody, not just Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, but everybody. No one knew who he was. He wasn't excitable. He was way too conservative. And people just generally were unimpressed by him. But because of some memes flowing around the internet, just like with Hillary Clinton, they think that they can force Joe Biden down our throats and that the Democratic primaries will just go to him. Like, conservatives will just forget his history of lambasting Trump, and then Democrats or progressives are going to forget his history of conservatism or the fact that he was once again not unpopular. Now, the reason that this has become a bigger deal is because the former chairperson of the Democratic Party said that, literally, he said that that is the only person that he can see beating Trump in 2020. It's a really weird statement, considering the only person who legitimately, by every poll, says that they have a chance at not only beating Donald Trump, but destroying Donald Trump, is Bernie Sanders. And we should never forget that. Because we could have had him right now, but, you know, you're with her, even if she's cheating, we should just move on and get over it. No, it's not how politics work anymore. But Joe Biden is not the Democratic superstar. You are trying to make him a Democratic superstar, and by doing so, you will lose. There is no statistical evidence showing that Joe Biden will be the one to beat Donald Trump. Joe Biden is not a progressive. This will get exposed. And the same reason that Donald Trump won this year, or the last year I should say, will be the same reason that he wins the next year. Because Joe Biden cannot galvanize progressives. Joe Biden can now galvanize millennials. Joe Biden voted for anti-equality when it comes to marriage. Joe Biden bragged about making crack cocaine more of an illegal substance with a higher jail sentence time than, and while he was on the Senate Judiciary Committee. This is the same Joe Biden who voted in favor of every possible crime act that he could have voted for. He's the same Joe Biden that in Delaware created a mandatory minimum so that a lot of non-violent offenders ended up in jail for long periods of time for things that in other states would be considered a petty crime that would just be giving you a fine. This is the same Joe Biden who's been conservative pretty much his entire existence. But like I said, he lambasted Trump. He's best friends with Obama. Everything you can think of under the sun as far as in the public eye. But it takes literally this much research and you can find out really, really, really fast that Joe Biden would get destroyed by Trump because he is definitely not left. And in the public's eye, he is not right enough because they're not going to go research his conservatism, although he has actually been tough on crime. And what that means is he's been throwing minorities in jail, for crimes, for entrepreneurship. I say entrepreneurship when we talk about the selling of marijuana now, because now a bunch of rich people on the West Coast who don't look like myself, if you catch my drift, are making millions off of it without the feds running into their house. So, he's one of those. He's one of those, the Bill Clinton conservatives. I don't even like them, because Bill Clinton was probably even a little more liberal socially than Joe Biden was. Joe Biden was literally no one before he became the vice president of the United States. And he was brought on to balance out Obama being, black. His name is Obama, Barack Obama. They needed someone who was very vanilla. Joe Biden is the definition of vanilla. He is not charismatic. He does not get you excited. He will not galvanize any progressives. He will be caught. He will be exposed. In a generation where politicians are being constantly and consistently exposed for literally everything they voted on in the past, things that even Bernie Sanders has had to answer to, even if he thought he was doing it. Like, Joe Biden voted for the war in Iraq. Weirdly enough, he voted against the mission that killed Osama bin Laden, which is kind of weird. But he voted for the war in Iraq. He voted for the war in Afghanistan. And it just literally seems like he just does whatever is politically expedient at the time. Except for behind closed doors, he's even more nefarious, because then he just does things that are conservative and hope you never find out about it. And unless you're talking about the case where he literally bragged about the crime bill that incarcerated thousands, hundreds of thousands of minorities for the same drug that people are now getting rich off of. Hold the irony. Like I said, Joe Biden is not the superstar. Understand, I don't even think that he could legitimately win in the primaries. Like, have a legitimate chance to win in the primaries. I don't think that he could do it if he's not being cheated, or if Bernie isn't cheated. But to pretend like Joe Biden's your superstar, when come on, it's Bernie. He's like literally the only fundraising y'all are getting is because he says that people should enter your party to counteract the effects of how crazy the Republican Party has been. So, no. But the fact that they're saying this December 31st, 2017 is a big problem, because they're preparing you. They're signaling you, if you will. Hey, deal with this. I'm not dealing with shit. If Biden runs, then I'm voting third party again. And I think a lot of people will agree with me. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Like I said, subscribe, hit that notification bell to make sure that you get the notifications when we do post the videos. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, find your balance. Peace.